happened, as it seems to happen every week. There's a lot that gets packed in, but especially towards the end of the session, things start to get a little crazy, go off the rocker a little bit. But
we're running out of food and water. If people could send provisions up to the Capitol, that would be appreciated. No, it's final stretch. Things are getting pretty crazy up here. Everything sort of starts happening really fast now. I think either today or Monday is the last day for committees, and that means floor time all the time, starting next week.
Lots of votes.
Lots of votes, but some really great things have happened. Your coal roller bill has completely passed, and so that is a full-on victory.
All right, so free fare days, Representative Briscoe's bill got through Senate Transportation yesterday. It was only a 3-to-1 vote, so not all the committee members were there, so we're not quite sure how it'll do on the floor, so we need to keep working it, keep pushing it, but there's a good chance, I think, that it can get through. Honestly, this bill has surprised me every step of the way, because we were told in the beginning that it was not going to go very far, and I think that we've done a good job of being able to convince people that, incentivizing behavior change and really pushing for some things that get people on public transit is a good idea.
I mean, just to set this up, so we initially started with the 100 million. That was sort of the benchmark that the governor set down at the beginning of all this. So kind of what's and that would have been a ton of money for a whole bunch of great programs that would have helped reduce emissions. But what's happened since then?
Yeah, so we have the 100 million that we've been pushing for. The rumor that we've heard is that it is only going to be $20 million, which we knew there would be some sort of cut. 80% cut, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, if you look at it from a glass half full perspective, $20 million is still 20 times more than the legislature has ever appropriated to air quality. What that means for all of the different programs that we're hoping to get funded, we're not quite sure. Most of those programs were scalable, so there's a chance that all those programs will be created, they just will be funded at a lower rate. But there's a chance that they will just also shrink the number of programs that they're actually funding. So we'll have more details about that hopefully pretty soon, and we'll be able to report on that by the end of the session.
We've talked about this a bit. It's a 100% renewable bill that would essentially create a new rate structure that would allow the cities to be 100% net renewable, which would be a pretty big deal because that is a ton of new renewable generation brought online. We've been trying to get this heard for a while now, and it's come down to kind of the second to last week, but we finally got a committee hearing on Wednesday. Unfortunately, there was a lot of pushback between legislators over certain components of the bill. They wanted kind of provisions that would essentially make it unworkable. It wouldn't, the economics, the way the system would have been set up just would have made it impossible to do. So unfortunately the bill was defeated on Wednesday, but thanks to some hard lobbying on a lot of different parties' parts, we managed to get it back, and it got another committee hearing yesterday. And the good news is it passed out. It's going to be hard. The clock is ticking, and it's going to be hard getting it off the House, and then we still need to get it through the Senate. So this one's definitely going to come down to the wire. Energy storage, sales tax exemption is something we've been trying to work. We initially had a bill that immediately got held when it was made public, and that was because there's sort of this massive tax reform package that the legislature was trying to come up with. And sales tax exemptions were certainly going to be part of that. And so our goal was to try to wrap the energy storage sales tax exemption into that larger tax reform package. Unfortunately, as of yesterday, the whole entire tax reform package is dead.
That may not be such an unfortunate thing.
Which is, yes, it's unfortunate for my energy storage, but not so unfortunate for, I think, a lot of really good programs.
Yeah. We
also do have an energy storage appropriations request for some research money, and again, we'll find out what happens later today in terms of that.
Hopefully it'll get at least partially funded. Even if it's not a full amount.
Yeah, we were asking for $6 million. Likely, we'll probably get like $3 million. But we're certainly going to keep fine tuning some energy storage. Obviously, again, this is kind of energy storage is the last piece of the puzzle, and it's certainly not going away. we have one of the more controversial bills happening up at this session, which is HB 433, which is addressing some inland port issues. So the language in this bill is still very much in flux, and we as HEAL are maintaining a neutral position on it. We are watching and kind of monitoring the bill for certain environmental provisions that we are hoping to see that would involve renewable energy, emission regulations, and air quality monitoring. And we do recognize that there's sort of other approaches to this bill, and there are very legitimate concerns about how this whole process is unfolding. Our approach has always been that we wanted to help develop solutions, positive environmental solutions, and help work towards a sustainable port if there ends up being a port. Sort of larger issues aside. If people do have questions or concerns about how about this bill and what we're doing with it, please feel free to reach out, give us a call, send us an email. We'd love to chat about it.
So that concludes week 6. We are getting ready to have the session over pretty soon. 4 more days, we can get through it. The shores of the Great Salt Lake.
Further expanding our beautiful studio's view.
Welcome.
If you can guess where it is, we'll give you a prize.
This episode of the Capital Report is brought to you by Merit Medical. Merit Medical is a customer-focused healthcare company that is innovating and delivering a diverse range of products that improve the lives of people, families, and communities throughout the world. HEAL Utah business partners believe in the importance of our work, but their support is not necessarily an endorsement of any legislative or regulatory position taken by HEAL Utah.